everybody. I'm going to get to the currencies in a minute, Warriors. I want to start off with gold because if you're in the room, I put out a buy signal recommendation. It got long at 33.31. So you're up $12 if you took the signal. And I want to talk about yesterday changed my mind. Guys, I was short up here, I was short here. And I just see this as a triangle. Sometimes, even if you're making money, you see how tough it is to make money because it's all corrective action. This was pretty good, but this is like chop, corrective action, higher low off this triangle. And I'm looking for an upside breakout now that'll happen at 33.86. And if you take the full measurement of this formation, it's $200 from here at about 240 and here at 440. So we get a breakout here over 33.80. That's going to give you almost 3,600 on a breakout. So I'm going with it. Part of the reason may also be that the dollar has not bottomed. We'll see. I'm more neutral on the dollar. But the gold looks good. The silver looks good. Silver, I think, can head to 42. And one of the reasons I changed is, if you didn't see yesterday's action, we were on the ropes. Okay. So when the market's on the ropes and it doesn't just have a bounce, but it has, just jammed anyone who got short under this 37.5 level, which is what it held today. It said, you know what? You're fighting the market. And as W.D. Gant said, if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. So don't invest yourself in one narrative. Keep an open mind. It will keep your account open. And when there's a day that something significant happens, don't just ignore it and go, probably no big deal. But yesterday felt like a big deal to me. And that rally was fueled by a potential candidate for the Federal Reserve who basically did an interview for President Trump on CNBC, said, yeah, I'll take rates down to negative levels. He didn't say that, but it was like that. One thing I will comment on: short yen, have been short yen, did a trade here, took profits, and I'm short again. I'm looking for 146, maybe 145. And if the gold can rally with the yen on an up day like this, what's going to happen if the dollar weakens and the yen weakens? It should add jet fuel to the gold. I want to talk about risks now. I want to talk about what happened yesterday, and specifically, let's talk about NVIDIA. So if you recall last week, I said, get out of NVIDIA. Okay. This is not going to be a crash. Okay. And I could still be wrong and we could be going to new highs, but what I'm looking for here is some type of correction that could take us back down towards, 145, 150, semis as well. They even look a little heavier. They got to their 200 on the 4 hour. So, 255, 250 viable. So I'm bearish. The semis, they led it. And that includes what's happening in the S&Ps as well. Also, Bitcoin trying to hold this 112 level prior low. We could get a bounce, but now I think there's a good possibility for the low hundreds in the coming weeks, as I believe this correction is going to continue for a few more weeks in stock indexes and the semiconductors. I did put out a recommendation to buy some calls on nat gas yesterday, and it's up pretty good today. So I've been watching this for a while. So, it's a pretty wild market, but I think we have a low here. The action in WTI is pretty constructive. I mean, look, we're way off below the move. I know a lot of guys are talking about 50 and 40, but can someone tell me, is the war in the Middle East with Iran over? No, I don't think so either. Although there's been calm, I don't believe that Iran is planning a banquet for Israel or the U.S. So keep an eye on this. Not a lot of people looking for 40, but maybe we're going to get a rally. That would be pretty surprising. I think a lot of people would be caught off sides, especially once we take out 63. And as far as natural gas, I like the narrative of we're really going to need natural gas to be a bridge to run all these AI data centers. I've talked to energy analysts, and we still have electricity shortages around the globe. So natural gas is a bridge to nuclear. So everyone's real excited about nuclear. They've been paid off by uranium stocks and uranium itself. Natural gas is a sleeper. And let me just give a quick cover to the grains, which all of them have turned up now, even the wheat. So all the grains to me look like they bottomed. Called the low in corn last week down here. Wheat bottomed this week. Someone asked me, what about wheat? I said, well, long term, it's close enough. But this week, we're getting a nice little reversal week to the upside. I know there's 1 day left, but this could end up being a pretty nice candle that we have in wheat. Let's look at the weekly. Oh. So trying right here. And the beans continuation moves we're getting. Tried to sell it off, but I think we're on our way to 1095 to above here. That's still way up here. That's going to be the major test of resistance, but a real nice run of about 70 cents. Buy pullbacks is offered back down towards 10. So still like those. And we'll see what happens with the S&Ps. I think a natural for the S&Ps to pull back to is the 6140 level. It's really going to accelerate. This low right here yesterday is very important. So if we start taking out 6350, we could have a pretty good break. 6140, the old high is down here. And keep in mind that volume is thinning out dramatically into the last days of August until the adults get back from the Hamptons when we're at full volume after Labor Day. So I think that this correction in the S&Ps has some legs at least back to retest prior record highs. And I think that's a wrap. I'm still looking for lower yields first. So that's one of the reasons, another reason why I think the yen could come off. And when it comes to the euro, there's really, what do you do in a market like this? Everyone's waiting for Powell tomorrow, and maybe it's not going to be what he says, but what he doesn't say. So we'll see. The whole FX world's waiting for Powell. So if he doesn't say anything about a rate cut, we're probably going to get continued dollar strength. And if he does, maybe we'll get a rally back up to these levels up here for a better entry on the long side of the dollar. So here's a dollar right here. We bought the dollar well Monday, pitched it for 50 yesterday. And I just look at this and I could make a case either way, but I'm not impressed with the rally we've had off this support line. So, I almost think that we're going to have another test of this formation. And I'm still open to the dollar could make a new low. Maybe that's what's going to be the jet fuel for gold to get up to 3,600. So hope that you took the NVIDIA call and got out of the way. You're going to be able to buy it cheaper. If you're aggressive, you shorted it or bought triple ETFs or bought puts. And we'll see what happens there. I still think that we have some downside, even though we're up again a little bit here in NVIDIA today. We'll see if it really needs to get through 180. But the big change for me, and that's why I started with it, was the gold trade. And now it's $15 to the good. We'll see if we get a breakout. But there's an example of paying attention to something that happened one day, changed my opinion because we had silver on the ropes and it was saved. So I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to go with it. And let's see what happens there. And I'll keep you informed on the dollar. Tomorrow, when I'm with you, it'll be before, I believe, the speech by Powell is, I think, going to be 7 a.m. Pacific time, maybe 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll see. But that's going to be that's really what the dollar traders, FX traders are waiting for. Other markets aren't waiting. Gold, gold made this move after a potential Fed nominee was on CNBC. So that's a wrap. Hope you caught some of this stuff here. And I just want to give you an example that, you don't have to stay married to a narrative when the evidence shifts. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Adios. We'll TGIF it tomorrow. Adios.